Welcome back to the Drawing 2 class, and today I'm going to show you about your color pencils, your color pencil set, and show you some different techniques that we can use to work with our colored pencils. Now it's really interesting that in elementary school they give you guys color pencils and watercolor paint and some other supplies, and they just go, here, use this, but they don't really teach you how to use it. So today I'm going to show you some techniques of how to use your color pencils. First thing I'm going to show you is talking about the pressure that you use of colored pencils. Very similar to when you are working with regular graphite pencils and the drawing pencils, your pressure is going to be really important as well. So in your purple sketchbook, this is what I want you to do. So grab your purple sketchbook and I want you to write the word pressure. And we're going to make 3 circles. You can just draw the circles if you want, or you can trace something. I found a couple of just household items that I could trace. So one of these measuring cups for like medicine, liquid medicine, the bigger side, the top side, that would work. Even a prescription bottle, the empty one, the lid, that would be a great size. I can trace around those. And if you don't have anything else, then even a quarter. That's a little bit smaller, but it will work. So I'm just going to use this medicine cap, trace my circles, and I'm going to do 3 of them to show you a light, a medium, and a dark pressure. Okay, so with my colored pencils, I'm just going to pick any color. Here we'll use a blue, kind of a medium blue. And working with the different pressure, I'm going to start filling these in. Now if you hold your pencil further back as opposed to really up close, you'll have a little bit lighter pressure. You won't have the tendency to push down. So I'm just going to fill this in with some light pressure. All right. Light pressure. The next one I'm going to fill in with a medium pressure, which means I'm going to push a little bit harder. I move my hand a little bit more forward, so that way I can push a little bit harder. And there's the medium pressure. And now the third one I'm going to fill in with dark pressure, or dark, so a lot more pressure, even a little bit lower on my pencil. And there you are, a light, a medium, and a dark pressure. Now most of the time when you're starting off, you want to start off with the light. You can always go back and add more pressure to it. All right, the next one I want to show you is working with different strokes. So in your sketchbook, just make a new set of 3 circles with different strokes, and I've labeled them straight, circles, and cross. Now these are going to be how I actually use my pencil. In the one before, I was just going in the same direction, which is similar to this straight. But I'm going to show you 2 more that are going to help fill in things and create different textures. So the first one, I will fill in like I did with pressure, but I'm going to use the straight technique. That means all of the lines are going in the same direction. When you are filling these in, please make sure you're getting all the way to the edge. If you have to do a little light outline to help fill it in, that is fine. The second technique I'm going to show you is working with circles. And when we work with circles, you are actually creating itty bitty little tiny swirly circles to fill this in. So with this technique, it looks a little bit different than the straight. It creates a little bit more of a texture or a little bit more of a roughness to it. So depending on what you are drawing and filling in, you might want to utilize that circle technique. The third technique I'm going to show you is cross, where we start off very similar to the straight, but then I'm going to create another set of lines or a second layer going in a different direction. So you will see by crossing over and creating 2 different layers, I've filled it in a little bit more. This one has some more white paper showing through a little bit, and when you cross it over and layer it on, it is going to help fill it in a little bit more. So that is your second technique I'm showing you. All right, the next technique I'm showing you is about layering different colors together to create a brand new color. So sometimes you will want to get a color that isn't part of your color pencil set. You need to mix your colors together. So by layering your different colors, you can create an infinite amount of colors. So I'm going to start with my normal blue. I'm actually going to layer in a green to try and get more of a bluish green color. All right, so now I've mixed my blue with my green to make a completely brand new color. The next technique I'm going to show you is blending your colors, working with what I call a gradient. So I'm going, instead of layering the blue on top of the green, I'm going to blend from blue into green. So I'll start one side with blue, and then I will gradually fade into the green. Now that is done with layering very lightly with your colors and overlapping them. All right, so there's the first one. Notice I went back and forth between my two colors several times, so I didn't have that big stripe that went through it. So you'll have to keep going back and forth and layering between your one color and your other color until they cross and get what you want. So I want you to do that 2 more times. It does not matter what colors you use, but going from one color into another color. All right, and there we are, 3 different blending or gradients. The last technique you will be shown today is called burnishing, and that really has to do with the pressure. You'll notice in all of these other ones you see kind of the white speckles of the paper showing through, and with burnishing you're pushing with a lot of pressure to help fill in those white gaps so it appears more solid. There's a huge difference between non-burnished and burnished things. They look more finished and they look more painterly. So I'm going to fill in the same color, all 3 of these circles, and then I'm going to show you burnishing with the same color, burnishing with a blending pencil, and burnishing with white. So there are 3 things that we will burnish with. So let's start by filling these in. All right, so I have them all filled in, and now I'm going to start putting a lot of pressure and pushing really hard, creating friction so that the color pencil, the wax that's inside the color pencil, basically melts into the creases and the crevices, the tooth of the paper. So with the actual color, it was really just about putting more color in and lots of pressure. All right, so there's the first one, definitely much darker than before. Now the second one, I'm going to be using this blending pencil. Basically a Prismacolor blending pencil is the same wax, it's the same material that is inside the regular color pencils, it just doesn't have any pigment. So it's like a clear wax that you can use to burnish with. Remember, when you're burnishing, you're going to put a lot of pressure and your hand will hurt, so don't be afraid of that. All right, so that is with the blending pencil. And the last one I'm going to use is basically just a lighter color, which is white. Sometimes you can use the cream if you don't want it to be that white. And you can do the same thing. It will cause it to be a little bit lighter, but be careful of the white because sometimes it makes it a little milky. And you'll see what I mean. All right, and there we are, burnishing 3 different techniques with the actual color, making it really dark, with the blending pencil, just smoothing it out and melting all of that color that you put down together, and then with the white makes it a little bit lighter and almost a little bit hazy. What I want you to do now is do all 5 of these techniques in your sketchbook. Take photos of them and then remember to upload them to the Google Classroom. Good luck!